Good morning, folks. How are you doing? I'm going to try to be quieter today. Dan and I, we don't get a lot of sleep. It's rougher for her than me. It's 4:25 a.m., Tuesday, October 24th, 2017. I'm really congested today. So, it's not sound effects. Excuse me. I'll be saying that a lot. On the videos, I just learned how to fade things in and out. Of course, that's something someone learns in the first hour of using one of these programs. So I don't know how to do much, and it's not my concern. I'm not here for that. Excuse me. I've wanted to show you through example everything I could about what it's like and what you might possibly go through as you literally start to become yourself by taking care of the problems on the other side. It's bound to happen. It's a natural process. More and more people are waking up, becoming aware of who they are, because you don't have the original first being male and female, what everyone's been calling God and the devil. They don't know. You don't have them and their servants, the original angels, to keep you from doing it. So, a lot of you just becoming yourselves, finally. This is the first time this has ever happened in creation. It's pretty darn old. This should have happened right away. It wasn't able to, though. Excuse me, I remember in the beginning, I always thought the original male and female would change their tactics, their programming, their format, but they never did. This is the last video that I'm going to make until coming back from Hawaii, at least in the last one I'll make in the studio. I've got a bunch of videos I need to post. I'll do that early in the morning when I wake up. But I have to tear down the studio to take it to Hawaii. Those of you that are awake are going to feel something. It'll be soft and subtle like everything else. It'll be October 28th in Hawaii. That's 6 hours earlier than Eastern Standard Time. I don't have an hour, a time of the day, because I don't know. I was seeing myself a long time, years ago. I was seeing myself going down, and I was being told, it's time to take up a barrier. That's a dimensional barrier down in Fae, between the third and fourth dimensions down there. And I looked at it, so it was going on fine, and then I understood, and I was learning stuff as I went along. And then I went down to a place called the Blue Barn. When I first started waking up, I was talking with, they called them psychics, with the metaphysical practitioners down there. Metaphysical consultants. So, and one of them I always connected well with. She and I had a lot of past lives together. She's very nice. She's a doctor. Anyway, that's not the doctors I was talking about earlier, but just so happens she has a doctorate. The doctors I talk about are actually psychiatrists and medical doctors, work in hospitals and stuff, or have their own businesses doing such. And she said, she looked at me and she got puzzled. And she said, I see you going down, you're standing on top of a mountain, you put your arms up, and you're literally pulling an energy, this lightning and everything else. She was being shown through imagery, a process. And that I was already aware of, and I didn't tell anyone. I talk to people freely about stuff, but not about everything. It's, some things aren't anyone else's business. So, if I talked about everything that happened all the time, I wouldn't even have time to eat. Anyway, that barrier was removed many years ago. So between the third and fourth dimensions of Fae, there is no barrier. They can go right through. I can't say there's not a barrier. There's no barrier to keep them from going through, but there is something that will, an energetic barrier that keeps the dimensions, the frequencies, the two different frequencies to the two different dimensions separated, but everything can go through it. Things are slowly coming together. The third and fourth dimension of Fae below us, that's, here we are, and then the first one down, second, this is third and fourth. That's where you have more of the lower frequency Fae type people and some others. So there's a reason for there to still be a barrier between the second dimension below us and the third and fourth. It's a good reason for it. That won't be removed until a certain time coming soon. But on October 28th down in Hawaii, there's an energy transference, let's say that. It'll be one direction then the other. You're going to feel it in the field. Those of you that are connected to the earth, shamans, the Kahuna right there in Florida, they're going to feel it. I'd said a while back that, that a lot of you, when you're sleeping, that you actually love to take off and get out of your body. And a lot of you know it, you can feel it, but you can't remember everything. Well, that's because the base of your conscious mind is embedded with the, and relegated by that spirit that came from the planet. Originally came from Gaia, that is. Broken off from Gaia about 11 million years ago, a little over. So, it wants to stay in the body. It doesn't want to leave and take off with you, so you take off. But when you come back, it's hard for you to remember unless you just did it right before, a little bit before waking up. When you start remembering your dreams, you're going to find out that you had them usually about 3/4 to 7/8 of the way through your sleep process. So it was close to waking up. Sometimes, right as you're waking up, those are very powerful. That's when you're coming back in your body after being outside. So you have it fresh right in your memory. Well, you're not the only one that does that. I do it too. Remember, we're all family. I'm no different than anyone else. I'm just very, very strong. I'm very old. It had to start somewhere. Having lives, that is. And that happened with me and my better half, Lily. This is my 220,000th life on this planet. When someone's had a lot of lives on this planet, it might be 60, might even be 80. But that's it. Because I can have, because of my strength, the strength of my spirit, I was having almost one life after the other. Like my last life, Gandhi. I was out of the body 8 years. I died as Gandhi and came back here into this body 8 years later. Excuse me. I've said repeatedly, it's even in my first book, which I, touched up some stuff, but it's in the first copy. I always talked about how I got shot 4 times, not 3 times. One of them came up, grazed my ribs. The gunman, as is being pulled down, it shot me. Excuse me, and a very good friend of mine. You're going to meet him soon. Anyway, he was talking with someone from India, someone very close, and she said he brought my books with him when he went back to India to travel around, and he's the 5th focal point of Arae. Excuse me. Be right back. And we're back. There's one male cat outside that's trying to show its dominance. It's got an attitude. He's about to be fixed, but until then, he's about to be taught who's the alpha male here. It's insane. He's attacking some of the little animals. We have a possum and a raccoon and everything else that comes by here. So he's been a bit of a problem, but that's okay. Like I said, he's about to be fixed. When you put food out to feed animals and everything, whatever, all the animals that come up, you run into this. You have to make sure there's enough food and all the feeders, especially through the night, because most of them come out to eat at night. But this younger male cat is now starting to pick on the little smaller, almost baby raccoons and a possum that come in to eat. So this place is sanctuary. I can't control everything that happens around it, but I do my best to do exactly that. He's been a problem. I've seen this coming for a while. So he'll be trapped soon. I was going to be doing that already last night, but after they all get fixed, they get trapped, they get fixed, I need to be around. So if any of them eat stitches or something, I have to be here to get a hold of them, catch them somehow. And I've got a trap. I need to get more. But I work with a large group here, always have. And I have to be able to find them, take care of them. They're wild, but they trust me. Dan is really good with them too. The raccoon pictures you see in the videos, I'll put them on afterwards. That's a mama that comes around here to eat. And sometimes early in the morning I'll see one of her kids coming in. Creation was made backwards. It was made abusive on purpose to grow everything. And it did so out of insanity, the original first being male and female. That's your God, that's your devil. Okay, when you talk about it, what is it really? Original first being male and female, and guess what? They're dead. This will come out in court when I go. So you killed God, huh? That's what the gentleman's going to say. So when I talk, the words flow because they need to. I am much more than what talks to you through this body. Just as I've told you, the same goes for yourself. Why would I not be? I don't understand the word omnipotent. As far as spirit goes, our true selves, I'm so far past stronger than anyone else. That doesn't make me better than anything. How do you think all this stuff is happening with people waking up? Their heads growing. At least the complaints I got from people about having to buy new hats finally stopped. Actually stopped a few years ago, about 2-3 years ago. Now people, they'll contact us and say, Jay, man, I had to open up a notch on my hat, and then I opened up a notch before that. My head's actually growing. Folks, it doesn't grow huge. It's only a teeny bit. The whole circumference of your head might grow a quarter of an inch. It might not, whatever. And somebody, I have had people say, oh, your head grows, this much, that much. That's back when I used to look at stuff on the internet. And, of course, I don't bother doing that anymore. I used to have so many people sending me stuff saying, this person said that. That's just like you. And I went there and looked. I said, no, it's not. But I'm the one standing at the corner watching the cars go by. So I talk about that. I talk about what I see because I'm right there. But now that I've cranked up so many people, they're getting strong. And they are seeing more and more, and it just makes me happy as whatever. Happy as can be. That's the whole idea. For all of you to find yourselves and then be able to see what else exists everywhere. That's what it's all about. I've said pretty soon that there's 3 people that are going to be coming together. Deanna and Raj and Siobhan. We all know Siobhan out in Ireland, and Raj is out in New Zealand. I'll be closer to him than I've ever been, and I'm still not able to go see him. But yeah, whatever we do, what we can. He's the 5th focal point of Arae. Very strong, very strong, very strong heart energy. Siobhan is the 5th focal point of Lily. Very strong heart energy. She's very powerful. Deanna, she's a little powerhouse. So you have 3 people that'll be working on you together doing a DNA ICUC. That's strong. So they're going to start doing that soon. It'll be $1,200 is what they're going to start at. Soon after I'm gone is when I expect the DNA results to be published by these scientists, and don't know exactly when. Maybe just before, maybe just after, whatever, right around that time. The price of the DNA ICUC will go up. Now, they have the freedom to do whatever they do, but there's going to be a base set price. I won't be here, I'll be gone. But there'll be a base set price. If somebody knew, if they had solid proof, so somebody knew beyond any shadow of doubt that someone had the ability to evolve your DNA while you're in that body having a life? Do you know what some people would pay for it? There's people that pay $1 million for it. Well, I can see this going up to $30,000. It'll never go astronomical, like past that. Of course, that's a ton of money. Now, that does not mean they won't take care of somebody. It's like I already said, their heart. The power of the heart is incredible. Anyway, back to October 28th. This is exactly my... Oh, wait a minute. Something else. I was talking about Gandhi. And if you think that fight that was going on over there was not made to happen, you're incorrect. But either a little opossum or raccoon was over there being picked on by that larger growing male adult cat. And the poor thing was crying, screaming. So Deanna and I literally, I'm in this room, she's in her bedroom. And we both, she got to the door before me, and I took off as quick as I could. Then I went out after it. So I'm going to chase it around when it comes around so it understands it's not the alpha I am. So, anyway, that was made to happen to break it up. And Gandhi's, that last life, I was in the body of Gandhi. The body that does not belong to me. I was in the body. So, to be correct, you would say the last body that I had a life in. But we always say that was our last life. Well, that's the last life that we experienced, but it was inside the vehicle or body of Gandhi. And I've been saying for years on video, it's in the first writing of the first book, and of course I didn't take it out of the second book. Second book I made, out of the second version, second edition of the first book. I just had to add a small chapter. Excuse me, I'm being messed with. Well, that'll never happen again from them. And there's more coming. Fracking idiots. Anyway, bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, everything's working. I have all kinds of crazy stuff happen. I don't have stuff moving around the house anymore. The Arcobian just came in. We don't even think anything of it anymore. It's as natural a thing as talking on the video here, talking to the camera to put a video out to you. They don't walk around in solid bodies. They're here. We know it. It's no big deal. I mean, it's nice. We appreciate what they do to help us, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, eventually they'll go ahead and make a body show themselves for our cameras to catch when it's time. Deanna, myself, if I'm still alive. This body's still alive anyway. Put the cameras up and they'll show themselves. A lot of people think that you can actually catch them when you want. It's like that's like a squirrel coming up to you and outsmarting you for something you do normally. I mean, it's just for their intellectual level is just so far beyond ours. Their technology is so far beyond ours. Anyway, so this thing with Gandhi is just, I don't know, it was before the year 2000. They finally found the body of Gandhi in a vault, in a bank vault. It's It's kind of funny. I wanted to be cremated and I wasn't, and it was like a final insult to me. I'll be cremated this life. Anyway, so this lady, and she's cool. She's sweet. She's old school. She's been around a while. Okay. She's even older than me. She read the book, the first book, started going through it, and just said, "Who is this guy?" You know, and Raj had said, "No, it's just someone I know." And next thing you know, she read some more. She's a very intelligent woman, very intelligent. She's got a lot of heart. And so she read some more, and she said, "This guy's nuts. You know, I can't believe what he says and everything." And then she read some more, and she said, "Could this be real?" She said, she basically was saying, "This is starting to make sense. It's a little weird." And so she started asking questions, and Raj didn't tell her yes or no. It's, whatever you think is what matters. And then when she read the part about how I said that I was shot 4 times, not 3, and a piece of me that really connected with Gandhi's body that's still in here got really upset, has always been upset about that. That's why I said it so many times. Excuse me. So she read that, and that was it. She said, "How do you know that?" So Raj goes, "Like I said, I don't," he told her, "You won't understand this right now, but you can later." I've had a lot of people say every time they read the book that they get something else out of it, sometimes like watching a movie. Folks, that stuff's real. I'm not a writer. I wouldn't have wasted my time writing it. I'm an author because I have published work, but I'm not an author. Nobody grabbed it up. So we have to publish this book for you, although I've had Balboa Press coming in. We understand you're writing a new book. We want you to do it with us. And no. Publish it myself, thank you. Put it on Kindle, no. So people who want to buy it can buy it at thespiritualfoundation.com, straight from the publisher, or they can buy it through Amazon.com. Sometimes Amazon.com has a few copies there, but a lot of them get done right through the publisher. They just go ahead and cut the book for you. We used to buy some, have them, and then I sign them, just make it different coming from us and ship them off. But this house is only so big, and even though the shop is large, 22 by 34 with a gambrel roof, and a second story for a little more than half of that floor, the size of the floor, excuse me. It's full of stuff, and not quite full of stuff anymore, but it needs to be cleaned up and everything, organized. So I used to build my racing engines and other stuff. Anyway, so there's not a lot of room here. Stones everywhere. Dan will have a nice house and everything's moved out there except for certain things like making the spheres and stuff. That stuff needs to be here. There's probably, I don't know, I have no idea, 80 to 100 and something of these containers, smaller and larger. That's a mixture of amethyst and citrine. All this stuff is the best I could find. Very little is double A grade. Most everything is triple A and gem quality. But anyway, so she started, Raj let her find out for herself. And now, she said, when you go, you can leave the 2 books here. Dan and I ordered just a few of, just 10 of these first books, of the new of the new book 1 in the creation series. Creation is beginning and your origin, and we're gonna send one out to her. I'm still writing the other one. I'm making way now to book 2. Folks, this is your information to help you. Use it or don't. No one's got a noose around your neck pulling you around. You want to wake up? You want to know what's there? There's a book. You don't have to believe a word of it. As a matter of fact, if I was you, you read it, you're curious, you wake up more. That's when you start believing it, is when you understand something for yourself. I ask everyone, especially in relationship to me, don't go looking into something, don't go looking at something blindly. That book is data. It's knowledge. You read it, and then you either keep what you keep what you want and throw away whatever you want. So that's all it is. If you need it, you want it, there it is. But it's what's real. If you think this is reality, you don't understand. It is real. It's a piece of reality, but it's not all of reality by any means. The vast majority of creation is metaphysical. It's without physical. You see energy coming out of a electrical wire when you put it out? No. When you pull it out of the wall and it's live, can you see electricity? No. I can see like a soft cloud and stuff and energy moving if I take the time to focus, but why bother? I've done it before to prove it to myself, but it's too hard. You relax and let your energy go. You can let yourself go. You come out of your body and then you can see it as it really is. But to actually use your conscious mind and try to see it, that's too hard. The human brain, or there's no physical brain, and there are some strong brains out there. Right there. And back again. As you can hear just before I had to shut the camera off, you heard an animal crying. That was a mother raccoon. She has kittens to feed. She has some of her younger kids to feed. They're old enough to live on their own, but she takes care of them. She needs to eat, have clean water. And that same male cat is attacking her, and the other ones will hang around. A wild cat, will take on and destroy a raccoon 6 to 8 times its body size. Cats are predators. This cat he will be trapped, he will be fixed, and he's going to be dealt with. He's going to be sent somewhere where he can be taken care of properly. I'm removing him, period. He's got male human soul inside, aggressive, abusive, and he's got something coming. Unless I ever had to, I wouldn't kill anything. I have no intention of killing him at all, period. If he went crazy biting me, I'd grab him by the neck and throw him, but he needs to be removed from the community. So there's people that'll take him. There's, ways to handle that without hurting him. Anyway, And then see people, out of ignorance, will say, isn't it wonderful how nature takes care of itself? Really? They will kill that mother raccoon. What about that raccoon's babies? What if you were a child and someone took away your mother, killed her, ripped her throat out, and she never came back to feed you? And you people want to talk to me about creation. I'm not you folks I'm talking to, but there's other people, not the people that usually listen to me, but there's other people out there want to talk about how God does everything so sweet and wonderful. Well, God's dead. They're the ones that made this whole mess. I've told you before, when you have energetic bodies, when I'm in a Fey body, I can literally live for a month off the energy I get from one thimble of honey and one apple fallen from a tree. There's no abuse to anything. In that type of body, that's why I said 72 to 78% of the abuse in your lives are going to be taken away. That's when you have the energetic bodies. People say, no, I can't feel without the... You can feel everything so much better, so much cleaner when you're not wedged into that tar pit called a body. People don't understand yet. A lot of you waking up, though. You all listen to me. You're a different crew than what's outside. We're no better than nothing else, but we're awake. We can see things. We understand things better because we can see more. I remember when I was a kid, they had some funny glasses you could wear. They were like plastic sunglasses, but they only had a little slit for you to see through. Well, if that's all you can see, you can't understand everything that's around you. If your eyes were like that, like this, you couldn't see everything. Especially not at one time to be aware of what's happening. Sooner or later, that male cat will be brought back. I just chased him away the second time. Of course, it's nighttime over here. It's 5:35 approximately. So I went outside, and there he was, perched on the back roof, looking at one of the main feeding areas, waiting for that raccoon to come by. He's trying to throw out his dominance. I'm the alpha cat now. This is my property, he says. No, it ain't. So, do I have any desire to hurt anything? No. Will I keep something from hurting something else? Oh, hell yes. With aggression. So, I explained how it needs to be handled to Deanna. Now, excuse me, this cat's going to find out he ain't no alpha nothing. Insanity is everywhere the way creation was made. I'm so sick of this. Take a moment in your life when you can really feel and realize that things are screwed up. Okay, multiply that times 10.846 trillion. Then you add to that the fact that you were made to serve and protect. How do you think you'd feel if you were awake and aware of all this stuff? It's frustrating. Anyway, I understand I'm very limited to what I can do. Well, I'm stuck in this body, but I'm about out. The animals are going, folks. Once I'm out of this body, it's going to happen big time. We're leaving. That's why human souls, human essence, and Fae and Fayman souls and essence are having lives in them. Bugs, a soul in the spider. It's that holy mackerel. A lot of this stuff is going to be brought out in court. You know, they listen to my sister. She listens to this. You know, lawyer listens to this. They'll have questions. I'll explain it, and that's going to literally be. That's part of the reason why this suit's going to happen. On the other side, you have the buttheads. There's not many of them, and you have the good guys. Now, no one's allowed to attack each other, and they can't kill each other anyway. They're told to stay separate. So these little buttheads start to cause problems, and people cause problems anyway. And then the good guys pop up and they take something the other guys did and turn it around and make it beneficial, and it just goes back and forth. It's like you're a punching bag. In the meantime, I've been deleting problematic spirit on the other side. To kill it, I said, yes, I kill it. I literally kill it. I destroy it with what I am. Okay? Period. So my newfound buddy from Buckhead, take that clip out and play it for the jury. Do it. This man is insane. Really? I've got 2 boards of psychiatrists that say otherwise. Good luck with that. Everything was made wrong because the original first being was sick. And it just got worse because they were the only ones doing anything running it. And I just kept getting stronger waiting. I had to be able to take everything on before I could do this. And guess what? I did. So I guess that means something. It's amazing. Sometimes people will say when they start waking up, said, you know, stuff makes sense. Why couldn't I see it before? And I said, well, you were kept from seeing it by the original first being servants called the original angels. But they're loving and yeah, according to what, your Bible? Oh, that's a book for you. Genesis. The biggest disgusting lie there is. One of them anyway. So anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. Yeah, I have some protective issues. That's what I am. And I'm so tired of being stuck in this body. Can't wait to get free. I won't hurt this body to get out because I don't need to. I don't have much longer. I have one more thing to prove about metaphysical abilities and the fact that the metaphysical world is real because it's more than 2/3 reality. And as you wake up in your abilities, you see things, know things. That's how everything changes. These churches are going to start literally being up for sale and people going in. Some of them are going to start converting. And it's going to be about people awakening, seeing, feeling things, being schools. Put the damn buildings to good use. I got nothing against religious people except for the ones that are crazy zealots. But I have issues with the religions because they're all full of crap, the actual philosophies. They're all part of the desire for power and attention and abuse and praise of the original first being. That's both your God and devil at the same time. How about that? And they blame it on the first being they created. The one called Lucifer, they created him to literally protect everything, including them, from the negative source energy that was taken out of their energy when they released 1/3 of it to make the essence and different forms of essence, and the other 2 large source beings that separated in the male and female. That's where Aramelius and Lilith came from. They're very clean. That's why they were very clean, and they thought that was going to make them weak. And Lilith and Aramelius, literally, they had incredible love, but incredible fortitude, very, very powerful fortitude put in there, those frequencies. And then they were going to take the strongest part of Aramelius, the male energy, largest, strongest part of it, and then they're going to take the strongest and the strongest part of Lilith, and these 2 focal points were going to be put in bodies. But they were made to make bodies. But then they got put in bodies. They became uncontrollable real quick. I remember, it's a good time. That's why I had to write these books. So you actually have your own history of what actually happened. Get away from this bull crap about this God crap. I mean, how the hell could there be this wonderful, all precious, wonderful, all perfect, all forgiving, loving God that then made hell to punish you forever? How could you believe that crap if you didn't have angels hanging on you? And those of you that are strong and light and good seers and stuff, you had 5 angels put on you. One primary archangel, and then usually 2 or 3 other archangels, and the smaller ones. That's to make sure one of them was always on you, in your head. That's how they maintained this praise crap. They were sick. The original first being was sick before it divided itself into 2, and then the 2 halves were sick, and they started going at each other, being jealous of each other and everything else. It was sick. This guy, J. Essex, he's sick. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's trying to be God. You know, for Pete's sake, folks, just get your head out. If you think that, get your head out of your ass. Read the book. See what you have going on. Or just sit and relax and see if you can eventually open up, but you're going to be so keyed up you can never release your conscious mind and wake up. Damn. It's going to be done for you eventually. Creation's changing. And it happened this life. My last life, in the body of Gandhi, I knew I was going to do this. I had it. I had 2-word thought in my head. No more. Everything I did trying to unite India, and then near the very end, they had already orchestrated turning it around into a nightmare, turning it into a violent situation. People, I don't care what you believe, but I'm putting down what's true, and everything else is just going to get handled from the other side. So, say what you want, like it or not. That matters to you, not to me. I'm going to make happen what needs to happen. And I'm not getting mean and nasty towards the people that listen to me all the time, and they understand that. I go into people's brains and light them on fire. I don't mean burn them up like barbecue. I mean enlighten them, wake them up, make them stronger. They start changing big time. Their head grows, their brain grows. You think I'm not different? You think I'm not here for a reason? Then you need to wake the hell up. But no, you don't. You do whatever you want. Because I told you change is coming and nothing can stop it. Period. Sometimes people get lost in themselves. That's how all of us have been run in our lives. Now that that's been taken off of you, I guess we're more responsible for ourselves than we've ever been. That male cat's coming back. I can see him coming in. Little something for my friend. Anyway, back to Lemuria. Hawaii. The 28th over there, there is going to be a very large energy transfer. And those of you that are awake enough, sensitive enough to feel the field, you're going to feel it. That's been my home more than any other place on this planet for this my at this point being my last life, but also being my 200,000th life here on this planet. There's something there that I need to pull back in on myself, and then I'm going to put something back in this planet. So I'm going to change so you'll feel the change through the field. Only if you're sensitive enough to feel it. It's not volcanoes erupting and all this other silly stuff. Man, so many people make such garbage out of stuff, I swear. I've said this before, like after I could go into people's heads and start doing stuff for them, actually take away pain for a short time. It's temporary. Then actually calling me up while they're driving down the road saying my car's running rough, would you fix it for me? I'm like, what? I didn't say it, but I want to say that's insanity. I just almost laughed and I said, that's not a reality. You found all these fake people call themselves psychics. I am not saying that people who call themselves a psychic are fake. I'm saying all these fake people that will call themselves psychics, nuts, man. They're crazy. They do whatever they can to scam you. Most of them. I'm going to go ahead and remove this curse from you for $3,000, $5,000. First off, it's not possible. There is no curse. The only curse you ever had was original first being running your lives, and especially through the use of the angels, their servants that they put on you. So how are they going to remove that? They can't. They're just taking money. Those people that don't understand, don't want to believe, what are they going to find out when I actually change? When they find out through scientists, they read forever in a scientific journal that there was a man on this planet, screw my name, this ain't about me, actually changed someone's DNA. He was a tired old fart in overalls. Something came here, and it wasn't any Jesus Christ. It wasn't God in the body. It was a big brother. And not the kind, Big Brother, George. I don't know who wrote that book. Anyway. No, it was the older brother that actually cared, that felt responsible for everything. How do you tell people about things and wake them up if you don't explain who you are and how you know, especially when they keep asking? Excuse me. I don't hide from nothing, but I never wanted to come out into the middle of this. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? People keep asking, how do you know? Then when you crank them up, they say, how do you do that? Even the scientist said that. The lead scientist for this group in Spain. He says, how do you do that? So then you have to tell them, only source can do it, and your source, because it takes a certain power level, blah, blah, blah. You make it as short as possible. And there's still, someone out there listen to you, and they say, oh, that's impossible. I can't do it. So, it doesn't belittle you except for your attitude. No, folks, people are waking up, and others that have issues aren't going back in body, and some of the real problematic people, or what's inside them, when I say people, I'm not talking about the human beings, I'm talking about the spirit inside, it'll be deleted. You get rid of cancer by cutting it out. Yeah, that issue with trying to protect the mother raccoon. Yeah, that got me fired up. See, that's some little shit source on the other side trying to run things, doesn't know what it's doing, it's never had a life. And it's trying to cause a problem with this going forward. And then the other side, folks over there trying to help, but no one's allowed to really get vicious about it. They're doing something right now, trying to put it to good use, trying to get what good, salvage what good they can out of it. It won't matter soon. I'll be home. I told you this court case coming up. This metaphysical stuff is coming out. There's a reason for it, but the more I see it, the more I can see of it, the more I can see through it. It's going to be more than I planned, and that's fine. So, some people would say, Jay talks about everything. There's aliens running around his house, and they touch him, and they're magic, and he can walk through the time, and what? What? We have ETs running around the house all the time. Fae making bodies all the time. Talking to spirit, killing it. But I don't walk physically through time. I think I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to get something good to eat. Some nice pita bread. That was in Greek, 1234. In the year 1234. Yeah, sure. No. People don't understand because they weren't allowed to. Man. How can you honestly look at the way creation is set up and say this is nice? That's sad. Equality for everyone. That's what is real. That's what's now being put together, and it will be enforced. Period. Man. So I keep seeing more and more all the time. Anyway, about things that are close to happening now that I'm ready to get out of here. Of course, I knew that'd be happening soon. The human brain can only handle so much. I was saying that right before the last episode. The physical brain, and there's some beings that have huge brains that are incredibly powerful, especially with the metaphysical abilities, and none of them are telekinetic. None of them. So anyway, they can do a lot, but that's in thought process and, talking, seeing, feeling. But you can't fit yourselves in a body. You can barely get a piece of yourself in there. You're so big from having so many lives. When you're young and you lift weights, you can build up a strong body quick. As you get older, you can't do that. Well, imagine staying young and you just keep lifting weights. That's what you're like as spirit. The older you are, the more dense your spirit becomes. The more lives you've had, more so. You grow over 3 times stronger when you're having lives, and a whole lot quicker. There's a hot rodder close to 6 o'clock. It's when he kicks it and goes. I think it's kind of funny. It's like, don't run over any animals, dude. But racing's fun, but you know what? They make tracks for that. Anyway, this crystal over here, has part of me this life and part of my spirit, not energy, spirit with its energy inside it. Plus, it's also got it's got a piece of me, my spirit as a red atom, the two of them in there. So there's part of me back home in Hawaii or we called it Mu. It was in the second age here in this planet, and I was responsible for taking care of all of Mu. It's a very, very strong life, and there's part of me embedded there, and I'm going to take it out, and I'm putting something else back in. This is so hard for so many people to understand. I only could understand so much. I've said how many times, if I could go back in time 10 years and talk to myself the way I'm talking to myself now, I'd think I was nuts. And it happens in steps. I'm trying to get some more of this Fushite. It's different. It's special. Came from India. This helps deal with that base chakra, what they call the base chakra, the base energy focal point. Excuse me, in your body where your emotions are held. Not feelings, but emotions. Right where the spine comes down into the hip. This goes inside you. When you hold it, the energy goes up, and then it goes bam. Locks down inside that base chakra. If I had a nice stone cutter over here, I'd cut little slabs of it and then tumble it softly so people can put it, thin pieces in their pocket. We don't have any beads of this stuff. We can't make beads. Come on. We have to take a lot of stone like this, break it up, put it in spheres, fluorescent. And, we have stuff like this little teeny piece of danbarite. That's stash. That's for Dana. Here's a beautiful piece of citrine that's not going to get cut up. And sometimes stones look a little rough, and you say, I want something pretty. Well, cool, good. Nothing wrong with that. We understand that. I can look at a stone, see it beautiful for being that, and I also see it beautiful for the energy that's in it. That's the most important part to me. That's why we like a lot of stones rough. So, anyway. So, Hawaii time, October 28th. Maybe you feel something, maybe you don't. If you don't feel something, fine. It doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean a damn thing. You want to wake up, you're going to wake up, and it's just going to keep happening. Just take 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day. Take 3 5-minute intervals per day. We just relax. Breathe. When you start doing this, close your eyes. And when you exhale, let everything go. Just intentionally let go of frustration. Let it go. Let it go into the earth. It goes into the field, goes into the earth. Remember, the field goes through the earth. Someone asked me once, how does the field know? I was talking about when David Wilcock was trying to explain astral projection, where when you go somewhere to see something, you open up a vortex, and that's why people in a room in China were actually picking off, there was more isotopes, it's what we call photons, photons, light particles. Particles of light energy. That you can actually read some of the stuff. So in China, when somebody went to go remote view, then all of a sudden there was an increase in photons in a room. So he was saying that the person went to go remote view something, it actually brought light back in there. What, you see a beam, like a flashlight coming into the room? Huh, David? He just makes up anything to get, to sound like whatever. Anyway, not picking on him, just saying. So it's to hell with wanting people to, whatever. I'm just sick of that stuff with him. I want to help. Anyway, so he, I even told him, and I did a video about it, said that's not what happens. The field itself, when you go to look somewhere, the field is like it builds up energy right around you and helps you go. It's like being on a surfboard and you start paddling out, and then a wave picks up and sends you forward. Well, of course, that's a natural occurrence with the waves, but the field knows when you're doing that, and it helps you. It helps your hearts move around everywhere. So what happens is when you go to look at something, you start it up, the field comes up and helps you move along. And when that field starts increasing its energy, what happens? You have more photons. You can read more energy. So, a friend of mine asked, where's it come from? And I said, well, it comes from the field. It goes through everything. What I was asking is, how does the field know when the person's doing it? Well, the field goes through his body. The field goes through everything. It's the ocean that the fish swim in. Anyway, I just started this video to talk briefly about this being the last video I'll be putting out before shutting down the studio, which I'm about to do now. But there's a big part of me hanging around Hawaii that I need to collect before going home. And I have something to put back. It's just love. When I do consults, I've gone into people before to help fix them. This one young man was 27% negative spirit. And then Aramelius, not me, not Aramelius, tried to clean him to 17% because he asked for it, out of body, once out of body. Doesn't happen in body, normally. So, I was seeing that in there, and I told him, I said, he acts up a little bit every once in a while, and that's why he'll be fine 1 minute, and then he goes next. If you imagine a pot of water, and then you pour a bunch of oil in it, but it's like big, it separates a little bit. It's like globules that kind of push up against each other and everything. That's what he had inside him for energy. 17 here, 27% lower frequencies here. They wouldn't mix. They're not made to mix. They bump into each other, rub each other. It's energy. So you think no friction? Oh, there's problems. This energy difference goes through the brain. So I told them what he was doing, what was going on. And then they said, wow, how do you know that? And I said, well, I'm looking at it. I'm at that intersection just looking at the cars going by, that's all. Other people, more and more, to these folks, my source family members I've cranked up, got them ready. They see incredibly well. They're powerful. They were powerful on their own. I amped it up. They're cranking up people all over the world. They have to. I'm getting out of here. Anyway, so I went into him, and he was fidgety and just, raising hell, running around, just, making a lot of noise, which is fine. I can do what I do if I'm in between two freight trains going past each other.
So I went into them and I fixed them. 100% no, 85 yes. But when I do something like that, it's love that does that. And I start doing it, I pour my love into them, I start pouring like the Chattahoochee River. I warned them, I said, look, I look different when I do this, don't think anything of it. And then the whole rest of the time, it was a 3-hour consult, the rest of the time he's fine. Plays around a bit, he's relaxed. I'm here to help. If I could have done this with a bag over my head, I would have. I came here to do a job, but I'm finishing, and I can't wait to get the hell out of here. Anyway, whatever. It's enough of my mouth. Folks, change is coming. You're going to see it. I had to mention this because of a good number of people that are out there that can feel it will, and I want them to understand what's happening. And they're going to feel it. They're going to feel the love. I did a video I haven't published yet, or by the time you hear this, it'll probably already be finally published. The most powerful metaphysical spirit there is, energy there is, is love. I think I called it spirit. Maybe spirit energy. I better check. See, I screw up too. Excuse me. Sometimes I'm messed with and put the wrong word in there. Sometimes I do it because I'm a natural at it. Whatever. Perfection? No such thing. It's made to frustrate you. So, well, folks, love you. Those of you that I really need to tell you about the 28th, you understand why. I just can't contact all of you independently, and man, that would take forever. So, folks, love you. Take care. And I hope you have a good one, and things are going to get better. Period. That's a promise. It's what I was made to do, and I'm about to be released, and I'm stronger than I've ever been. Anyway. Love y'all. Take care.